Ladies and gentlemen, we have some of the most interesting facts about the Leonida keys in Grand Theft Auto 6. But first, let's start off with something that many people have missed. Let's go. Alright, so there's something extremely intentional in Rockstar's own description when they say you are right on top of the doorstep of some of the most beautiful and dangerous waters in America. And that wording matters because on the doorstep of doesn't just mean the ocean, it suggests something bigger sitting beyond the keys, which points to a larger landmass outside the island chain, not just a small Key West island, which is ending the map. This means there could be some new islands which we haven't discovered in the GTA 6 leaks or in the trailers. And something I want to add as well is that the Leonida keys aren't just one island, because it's a chain of tropical islands stretching across the southern edge of Leonida, all connected by a long causeway system inspired by the overseas highway, and some of these bridges look aged or even broken, and these will actually be used for stunt jumps like we've seen in GTA 5. Anyways, let's talk about some of the locations inside Key West itself. So one of the most important locations here is Key Lento. This is likely where everything starts for Jason, since he's been wearing a Key Lento shirt and it's believed to be his early game home, clearly inspired by Key Largo. Another location that keeps coming up is Sundown, and this kind of looks like a central coastal hub in the Keys, and this location seems to be a bit more popular with activity and heavy foot traffic. And speaking of that, the overall atmosphere is completely different from Vice City, because the Keys lean into a more relaxed, almost worn down tropical vibe, with dive bars, casual clothing, and places like the Rusty Anchor acting as local hotspots. But at the same time, the water here is no joke. The game clearly separates shallow bright blue waters from deep dark zones, and those deeper areas are filled with sharks, eels, and other dangerous wildlife, making exploration riskier the further you go out. And this connects directly into the gameplay because the underwater exploration is a major feature. Scuba diving is fully implemented, letting you explore coral reefs, search wrecks, and find hidden loot across the ocean floor. And on the surface, there's just as much to do, with jet skis, boats, and even kayaking all being usable and likely customizable, which makes the entire region feel built around the water movement instead of the roads. And on land, there's still smaller activities like fishing, mini golf, and even stunt jumps. They scatter across the islands, giving the area a lot more stuff to do than half of the GTA 5 map. But what really defines the Keys is some stuff that we found in the leaked events. This area is heavily tied to drug smuggling, with cargo ships, seaplanes, and hidden operations constantly visible, making it one of the most active criminal zones in the game. This is also where Jason's past comes into play, since he reportedly worked with local drug runners after leaving the army, and characters like Brian Heder, his landlord, and Cal Hampton are directly tied to this region. And leaks suggest that one of the first safe houses for Jason and Lucia is located right here in the Keys, likely owned by Brian, which makes this area the starting point for the entire story. Another interesting detail is the reference to something called the Khan Republic, which seems inspired by the real world event and could mean the Keys operate under different rules, possibly limiting police access or locking parts of the map early on. And finally, when looking at the overall scale of the Keys, it might be much larger than expected. Mapping projects suggest the island chain stretches far out, with possible locations like the Naval Air Station and even a control tower at the very end, which again loops back to the original idea that something bigger exists beyond the Keys. Alright, that's all from us today, so thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace out.